You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now.
Hello, welcome to Tifo IRL. I'm JJ Bull, and in this video we're going to talk about West Ham. This old team right here, who are managed by David Moyes, who you may remember was a failure at Man United, but now he's really good because West Ham are currently sitting joint second in the table of the Premier League. You probably hear, you can see it. They are third technically, but they are second joint with Man City, who they have scored more goals than. So are they really good? Could they mount a title challenge? Probably not, but we're going to look at how West Ham play and why they're so good. So if we look at the team that Moyes has built with West Ham, there are a few key things that are obvious straight away. It's filled with big lads. So you've got Zuma, Ogbonna, Rice counts as a big lad, Soucek is definitely a big lad, lots of headers scored, Cresswell can count as a centre-back even though he's a left-back, and Antonio is a big lad as well. Now this is really useful for out of possession when they're trying to defend crosses from wide. It's really good for in possession, for scoring goals or getting shots away from set pieces, because not many teams have as many big players. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like these are all threats from set pieces and in defence. And West Ham, out of possession, play very compact and they like to allow the opposite team to have most of the ball. So although this looks all spread out, actually out of possession they tend to be a lot more compact like this. And so when teams, it's like a 4-1 basically out of possession. And so when teams try and attack down wide areas, what tends to happen is the fullback and the wide midfielder both double up on them. So maybe they'll have another player try and help out. There's their striker here. But even if they can get the ball, which is over here, to the wide player, they're closed down like this. One of the centre midfielders come over to help out as well. So they're just completely outnumbered, even with a 2. Maybe you've got a midfielder trying to help out or a fullback trying to join in. There's just no, it's either matched 3v3 or they're outnumbered 3v2. And then if the ball is eventually put into the box, you've got Zuma, Ogbonna, Rice will be falling back there to help out as an extra centre back. Cresswell's there as well, good in the air. And so they win the ball, and then what they've got is players like Jared Bowen, Pablo Fornals, and Said Benrahma, who can just run with the ball like really quick. And they do this a lot. If the ball's turned over, these guys just fire up the pitch. Because naturally, when you're sitting back like this, you draw the opposition out. So teams, say this is the opposition team, and they're trying to push out. The formation's a bit of a mess, but ignore that for now. It's going to leave all this space in behind. And because these players are so quick, it means they can quickly transition. And what you'll see with West Ham often is that when the ball's around about here, and they're about to cross in, these guys are already, they're already on their bikes, already getting ready to go and attack the space. Now naturally the opposition team falls back, but West Ham clearly practice and training a lot these sorts of combinations where Antonio might pick the ball up, say the ball goes long from Rice, who can hit really good long passes. He's really good at hitting both progressive passes to a target man like Antonio, but he's also good at carrying the ball. So even if, for example, if the ball isn't knocked away here, Rice picks it up and he's very important in these situations. He will either just carry it and he'll run through players because he's added that to his game now, more of a box-to-box midfielder, not just a sitting anchor. But you can also just smash one of these balls up to Antonio, or you might be able to find Benrahma, who's already made a run. Because like I was going to say, when the ball is turned over, they just start moving, they're already going, so they can anticipate this. So Rice can either hit that, and if the team's anticipating that and they fall back to track this guy here, he can just carry it through the middle of the pitch. Get rid of some of these lines. So a lot of their goals are scored in transition by the quick players who are able to move up the pitch, like Fornals, Benrahma, Antonio, and Declan Rice. But when they get to the final third, you've got Bowen, who's an inside forward. This is something that Moyes' teams has always done. He's always liked to have inverted wingers who can come into their stronger foot. So Benrahma is right-footed. He'll come in off this left side onto his right. Then you've got Bowen who can come into this bit here. Now Ben Johnson, his touch maps always have him. He's always right up here, like a modern fullback, right up here like this. It's the same against Liverpool when they beat Liverpool recently. So he'll be up here. Aaron Cresswell creates a lot of chances from open play, from crosses. And Moyes' teams always put in a lot of crosses. We saw it at Man United, they were heavily criticised for it. There's one game, I can't remember who it was against, but it's just crosses. West Ham do something similar, but West Ham have players like Antonio and Soucek who arrives from deep constantly, so to get on the end of crosses. So maybe Cresswell's here, he'll look to put in this kind of ball here. He'll often do it from deep as well, so he might have this level with the penalty box, but often he'll cross in from even deeper like this, an early ball into the box. Because the chances are that Antonio, who is massive, is either going to win the header or he's going to cause a lot of hassle in the box and the opposition team will have to try and clear it. And then you've got someone like Thomas Soucek who turns up for a late run from deep to get on the end of it and try and finish those chances. And it's the kind of player that Moyes has put into the team. So Fornal's small technical player. Bowen is is a technical player, but he's quite powerful and aggressive, and he'll be able to run past players, but he also works very hard out of possession. Benrahma is just bought from Brentford. He's certainly getting into the team and started well this season. Now, he works hard out of possession, but also he can dribble past players and make things happen. So you still have these technical players in this bit here. You still got your power and aggression from Soucek and Antonio. You've got Declan Rice kind of holding it all together, and you've got your centre backs who are also big lads who can get on the end of crosses. So they're a real threat from set pieces. If we look at the numbers for West Ham's set pieces, which I have in front of me, they've scored more goals. Well, they scored the joint top most goals from dead balls this season. Two of them were against Liverpool. So you had a cross that went over here. Alisson was marked by, I think it was Ogbonna. Where is he? He's over here. Just out-jumped. That's one of the ways to do it. Not necessarily the easiest way to explain how good their set pieces they are. But another goal they scored against Liverpool was clever blocking by Declan Rice. So say you've got, let's put Rice on here, get rid of some of my lines. So this is an example I'm trying to talk about the set pieces that West Ham take and why they're so good at them. They have good delivery from Aaron Cresswell, that's key, but also look how many big lads they've got in the middle of the box. This is what they had against Liverpool with this example. Antonio, Zuma, Soucek, Rice, Dawson, who came in for Ogbonna. All of them are really good in the air, and all these players actually win the majority of their aerial duels, if you look at aerial duels they've had to take on. So this is a big threat. So naturally, most teams want to mark zonally with a few man markers, but they have to make sure they get it dead right, because if the delivery is good, any of these guys can score. Now, the third goal that West Ham scored was a set-piece routine that went to the kind of the back post around here, and Alexander-Arnold was marking this back space here. These players were sort of around here. This is not exactly how it looked. But Zuma is the guy that scores. And Zuma makes this run. So he's a marker here, makes his run round the back, and Rice blocks the guy who's meant to mark him, so he can't get to him. So by the time the ball comes in here, he nips between Alexander-Arnold and another player at the back post to score this kind of goal. So West Ham obviously know how Liverpool are set up. They want to spend a lot of time on set pieces. They know that Rice can block the marker on Zuma. Zuma can get ahead. He's much bigger and more stronger and more aggressive than people he's up against, and they're able to score that sort of goal. And West Ham don't just they don't just sit back and let teams come onto them so they can counter-attack. They do press high when they want to at times. So I put them back into their normal shape. What you sometimes see with them, it's another thing that Moyes has got them doing very well. Put him there, Soucek goes in the middle with Rice, Benrahma, Antonio, Bowen, Johnson. So this is their shape. You think out of possession, there may be a 4-1-4-1. Again, they get quite compact like this. This might be what they look like out of possession. Sometimes teams try and play through them. Naturally, that's what they want to do. Like good teams try and do that. And West Ham will happily push up high to try and stop that from happening. So against Brentford, for example, and this is another example of why Declan Rice is so key to what they do and why Moyes has put together such a good team. They all work really hard out of possession, and they all know how to anticipate danger and when to engage. So what you see is Antonio is sort of over here. You've got Bowen helps out with the press, and Fornals comes here to form part of a 3. So naturally, the team wants to build up. That's the 6 blocked. So you've got this kind of cover shadow in here. I'll give you a little line I'm talking about. This guy here is blocked by Fornals, making sure he's either this side or this. Get rid of my little line because it's confusing. There it goes. So the ball's going to be built up wherever the ball is in the goal. The ball's going to want to build up from these back players here. And then you've got Benrahma will be up here somewhere, making sure the ball can't go out wide. Johnson will press up if the ball goes to this section here. But mostly they're in this sort of position here. Now, what Rice does very well is anticipates where the ball's going to go, and he times his interception or tackle so that he's running at full speed when he gets it. So in this situation here, the ball, I think, is fired from the goalkeeper into this player here, midfielder. And what Rice does is he starts about maybe 5-10 yards off his man, and once the ball is in, it's in, what's the word, transition? It's in the air or the ground, it's moving towards this guy. Suddenly, by the time he's about to control it, Rice is running towards him, and so by the time he controls it, Rice steals it, turnover, they run forward, and then you've got Fornals, Bowen, Antonio, and Benrahma can help out as well. And this is what they do. They are doing the simple things very, very well, and they are doing it with a lot of aggressive, big, tall players. It really helps. They're not bad players, technically. They're all very capable. If you look at West Ham, They have beaten Liverpool now, they've beaten Spurs, which doesn't really count, not very good under Nuno, he's gone now. But they have lost to Man United. They're yet to play Man City, Chelsea or Arsenal. So once they have, we'll know kind of what their level is. But at the moment, like we said, they're sitting in joint second with Man City. They've scored more goals than Man City and they look really good. Maybe David Moyes should have stayed at Man United all along, who knows? And that's what we're going to say about West Ham for now.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic brings you the best sports journalism in the world in a personalised experience, connecting you with the stories and teams that you care about the most. There's coverage of 13 sports, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As, discussions and podcasts. Not to mention, it's all ad-free. And you can try it now for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description.